Alright, day 2 of AST 2. Meeting over here at the Lift Coffee, just packed. I think every Avalanche course meets here. Yeah.
Hey, morning. How's it going? How, you all dried out from yesterday or what?
Almost.
And that crust is probably going to get a little stronger as we...
Yeah, that's kind of... Will I be able to see it?
Yeah. So it starts up.
Notice that we're the only people that need glasses.
So it's got a group check right now, so if I hit that, so it's activated the group check.
Okay.
So it should, if everybody turns their transceivers on, has everybody got their transceivers turned on now?
Yeah.
It should show, so it shows I can go through
Oh, how many?
each person.
Too close.
Didn't like something. So it does have a group check. I don't always use the group
Right.
check, but you can have, it shows up the number of people.
Right.
What's your saying right now on you?
It says too close.
We're getting there.
Ooh, that's going in now. Poles are going in a bit deeper now. Still a cruddy snow. We're just following our fearless leaders here, leading us to a safe destination.
So
We're apparently on that map somewhere.
Yeah. You want to have a look?
Yeah, I kind of know where we are, so I'm good. Luckily, I know where we are.
So he could probably get a GPS and then correspond that onto a grid reference on the map. Is that what you would do? To pinpoint exactly where we are?
I kind of like that.
That's kind of cheating though.
What is
It's modern technology. What did you do back 30 years ago when you didn't even have a phone?
You just
30 years.
You triangulate with the compass.
Yeah.
it?
So we're doing a little spacing across, just to be safe, because you don't know what could avalanche above you. And this way, if it does avalanche, you're like the only person in it, which would still suck. But anyways, that's the reasoning for it. Yeah, the snow is cruddy. It's heavy, dust on crust. But we're not really out here to ski. We're here to learn. There's the rest of our gang coming across. Is Body Bag Bowl up there. And Disease Ridge here on our right. And we're going up to that big rock right there that you can see. So basically he said, we'll keep our spacing, and then we're just gonna end up there.
I think it's going to impact on my wall at all in this situation, so I can just have a complete open trench.
Okay, where'd the orange shovel come from?
That's mine.
You didn't have that sucker yesterday.
Well, she didn't have anything yesterday.
Oh!
She was without anything yesterday. fairly consistent across here. There's a rock on the surface there.
Yeah, it's the same one.
Mine.
It's the red
Graham,
one.
about the cross
The red
loading.
one is
So
the
we
same
see,
one.
This one?
the cornice
Oh,
has
it's slightly smaller.
to be cross loaded in this whole gully. Would we? I'm not very experienced with it. Would we picture a lot of it to be landing right on the bottom or
Yeah,
on one side?
Yeah, it could be, and then when it goes up the other side, then it's going to get drifted up and over into the next basin. But some is going to land in here, but it's not like that cornice slope there is much more lee than this one. Because the wind's going to come over it, and there's not going to be that much wind effect.
Right.
This, it looks like the wind's coming over that cornice, and it's going to blow across this slope a little bit. So it might have a little bit different distribution type of situation.
So
Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah. And if this was just a standard cross loading, would we expect a lot of it to land right down at the bottom?
Yep.
With as much style as possible.
We weren't happy. We've got this big fruit above us here. We've got some other fruit just around the corner. We're going to be under some cornices, a bunch of stuff. What would we do? Yeah, go back and maybe have a run in the other basin where we've got something above us, but we don't have quite as much above us as we got above us here. So I'm going to put it on to Nathan as to whether he based on sort of our bulletin or...
I get up at 5 every day, regardless. It just happens.
Oh my god, no way. I can't do that.
Since the hospital. I go to bed early and I get up early since the hospitals. Like I get into bed in the hospital at 7 o'clock going like, well now what? I was so bored, right? Oh! Yeah, and I think I got it on video.
Yeah, it's gonna go viral tomorrow.
No, not likely. Are y'all good? You missed the tumble.
Yeah.
Well, that snow was good until we got here. Now it's crud.
That would be the...
How's it looking?
You know, it was amazing. Just coming right here, the snow changed.
Yeah,
It was nice and fluffy, and then you got there, and it just was like, what?
For me, it wasn't so fluffy. For me, it was full of holes. But yeah.
Well, you can see the crust, right? Look at the crust here. You can pull the crust off, right? Look at,
I know, I looked down and my ski was like in a hole.
yeah. Look at, so you got to break through this junk. All right.
Okay, I'll go.
No more face plants.
No more face plants.
Yeah, this is. He's good at busting through crust.
Yeah, just picture into the atmosphere or whatever it is.
Oh. Wow. This is so garbage.
We got another big slope above us there.
Yeah.
So we don't want to get into that hole. And there's a perfect example of a terrain trap. That's right down where those guys were digging.
Those big boulders down there.
Well, and that hole.
Oh.
Like if this thing slid where these tracks are down here and you got carried down to that hole, it's a perfect example of a terrain trap. So, I think in the initial deployment up top there, everybody was pretty good about making sure that you were all on to receive, including me. And I'm glad you guys thought about that. I can't remember who it was that thought about it, Matt, but that could have screwed things up.
No, Melody, you
completely, 'cause,
told them.
I had a transceiver that was transmitting, and you guys would have got a signal right away, and it would have taken a little bit of time to figure out, well, it's close. And then it would maybe start to move as I moved, etc. And good decision, Matt, and probably I was indicating I didn't really know what a transceiver is about, so I wasn't going to be that functional. But do your best to question the witness. Get as much information out of him as you can, or her, which you did. Excellent. I think we got all the goods out, and really nice to see everybody spread out across the slope. And I think that was key in picking up. I tried to spread them out fairly much so that if everybody went down just one way, then maybe everybody would focus on one and miss one. But you got spread out across the slope, and that meant that you picked up both buried transceivers, and there was one group on one group on the other. There's only 5 of you, so 3 ended up one spot, 2 in the other. But then Matt, excellent, got me my pack. I just discovered I'd found it down on the thing there. It got torn off me or rolled off me or something, and then Matt told me to get my pack out and get my shovel out and put me to work over here, which was useful. And then he was able to go over to you guys over there, which just had a manpower of 2. And then I think just by the time you got there, it had been
Yeah, we even got it with the probe.
Oh, you hit it with the probe.
Yeah.
Okay. So anything from you guys in there, participants, that you think you would have done a little differently, or you had questions on, or anything like that?
Just for the skis and poles that were there, like I looked at them and I thought about it, but then I thought if we spread out, I don't want to go somewhere, and I want to be systematic. So if we have like I was in charge of the furthest line, and so I just went there, and then I tried my transceiver instead of actually going physically.
Yeah,
check.
no, fair enough. And the skis, it was kind of clear there wasn't a leg attached to the skis.
Right.
Because they were both sort of standing up. I think one was lying down, but that was fairly easy. Sometimes, I think there was one pole that was upside down, and sometimes somebody could be potentially have it around their wrist and just got buried that way. But it's just something to keep in mind. If your transceivers, you know that there's transceivers buried, which I was pretty sure as a witness that that's what my buddies had, then rely on your instrument. And if that's taking you right over there, and then it's clearly taking you someplace, the difference in time to go over and check that particular thing, just something to keep in mind.
Well, you spread them nicely, so I slid right by them both.
Well, I was
so that worked out.
I was trying to put them
Yeah.
above where the transceivers were roughly buried, so they're indicating that maybe somebody lost their skis or something like that. So tried to give some hints, some clues. Anything else?
When do you call for a rescue? Do you call right away, or do you call right after you save them?
Well, I think I would call after would be kind of my call, because if you spend a bunch of time doing that, you can have them out in the time that you're on the phone. Like, you could be on the phone for 5 to 10 minutes, and I think you could have people out. And
It was fast.
Pardon?
That was very fast.
Yeah, but I think in reality,
That we got them out today, right? So
in reality, if you didn't know how to do anything, then
Right.
maybe you call for outside help. But outside help is going to be a while. Like, even getting a ski patrol over here from Blackcomb, I bet it would be, well, they keep them at the top there. It would probably be 15 minutes before we got somebody here. And they would have some gear, that sort of thing. And I think that given some practice and stuff, you could have everybody out in 2 people out in under 15 minutes. Then, if I didn't see what happened over there, but good on to the first aid. We didn't really talk about that much, but that becomes an issue. If somebody is unconscious or not breathing, then we got a transport problem, and that's something that isn't that easy to deal with in your own backcountry group. So getting some outside resources, I think, at a later stage. If you have the additional manpower to call for resources, great. But if there's just 5 of you and there's 2 buried, I think I'd go for the searching first, for sure, and the excavation of the buried people. Any other feedback from people in here?
When I was going down, I was kind of like zigging around a bit, side sliding.
Well, you sort of have to, because it's the way you're going to get down there with your skis. I'm really glad that everybody brought all their gear with them. Like sometimes people leave their skis and stuff, and then they're wallowing in snow up to here, but keep going. I'm really glad that everything ended up pretty much close by, and then you had all the resources there.
What I was thinking was, and I guess if you're doing the, what is it called? If you're zigzagging down the whole slope, if you're doing it by yourself.
Yes.
My transceiver, I was kind of changing direction a bit. I was picking up a signal and losing it, picking it up and losing it.
You want to try and keep it as your original orientation as much as you can.
Yeah.
That is what the suggestion is.
So like probably just face it downhill and just keep it downhill.
Yeah, if you can try and keep it in the original orientation, like if you're just facing it that way, or some people like to keep them straight up and down. I kind of like to keep them flat so I can see them.
Yeah.
But instead of turning it around, it will figure it out, but it may lose a bit of time, or it may depends which transceiver you have. You may have to stand still for a bit or something like that.
Yeah.
So and that would be my recommendation.
Does it matter if you keep it on an angle with the slope?
I don't think it matters that much. It's just keeping it roughly. I mean, you're going to move it somehow. You
can't do it perfect.
You can't keep it perfect, but just trying to keep it in the somewhat original orientation that you started with. Then okay.
So if you were to stand there and first think safety, just even like in this spot, before you even went, like, because we all just went like, let's go. There's not much here that's going to get you anyways, but what would be the first thoughts in your head, just to look around and make sure the slopes are stable?
This piece of terrain?
Yeah.
Well, if this piece of terrain slid right here, then we got a stability problem that's kind of widespread, I would say.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what angle do you put this slope as? 30.
It's over 30, yeah.
32 degrees somewhere. Yeah. So steep enough to slide, etc. Reasonably small stroke. I would be a little bit concerned about this other stuff around me too. And with all the if we're getting something on this little thing,
right?
I'd be a little concerned about this stuff around me.
So what do you do if you, like, before starting the search, you realize it's potentially dangerous? You don't go search, or you like keep some
That's a tough decision.
Yeah. Do you put your own life in? Do you put your own life at risk then?
But, but would you keep maybe like two people?
You could post a guard, somebody that's going to watch, that can't get caught in an avalanche, and if something was coming down, or they sort of know where everybody is if something happened. I would say, in general, unless there's like 3 gullies feeding in, and say one big gully slid, and then there's 2 others that are completely loaded and didn't slide. If you're on the bed surface, in general, that's a relatively safe spot. I haven't seen that many avalanche situations where, I've seen avalanche situations where hang fires come down after, or they wanted to blow it up before they go in and do a search. But if you're on the bed surface, I haven't seen that many situations where there's been the bed surface again sliding because there's another weakness underneath. Usually it takes most of it out, or it takes the tension out of the slope, in my general experience. Does that help with the question?
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's obviously it's a case-by-case situation.
Yeah. Okay.
It's warmer down here.
It's warmer down here. Anything else out of that? So that will probably be the last practice we'll do in this course. And so I was pretty happy with how everything went.